Rating your teams ahead of FPL double game week 24. If you want to get your team rated, click the link in the description, top line, it will be my Instagram. Drop me a follow on Instagram and then send me your team and I will rate it in a future video. So these are 10 teams that people have sent in to me. Sorry I couldn't get around to everybody's team. We've done as many as we possibly can in this video, but we're going to be doing this video every single week. So if you want to get your team rated, drop me a follow on Instagram and then send me a picture of your team. And starting off with the first team that we have got, he's got David Raya in goal with a back three then of Lewis Hall, Alexander-Arnold and Gabriel. Midfield 5 with 2 United players in Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo and Palmer, Salah and Kluivert. Up front then, Isak, Cunha and Joao Pedro on his bench with Munoz and Robinson. Overall, it's a decent looking team. It's just, the thing is, the main problem is with it that there's no triple Liverpool. I mean, if you're going to play your assistant manager on Arne slot, then fair enough, but there's no assistant manager on there at the moment. I would recommend having a triple up on Liverpool ahead of the game week. And also as well, we'll be looking to probably bring in mbuemo. I think he's the number one transfer in player for the number one transfer in player for a single game week player. So we are probably looking to move on Bruno and go towards an mbuemo. And then up front, I think Cunha's not quite got the hype as what he had to a few weeks ago. Wolves have been struggling in recent weeks, so maybe move Cunha on to a potential. I think it's just a simple Cody Gakpo, to be honest, just a Cunha's Cody Gakpo if you have the funds for that. I think it's an easy move. If not, maybe a Johan Wissa who's got a good run of fixtures coming up. But overall, it does look like a decent team. Moving on to the second team now, we have got a triple up on Liverpool in this team with Alisson, Salah and Gakpo. No Everton players as well. Both teams have no Everton players in the first two teams, which is interesting. I personally recommend probably having one Everton player, but it's not an absolute essential to have Everton. I like the back line. I think Munoz has got good fixtures coming up in the future and very good going forward. Lewis Hall as well is decent for now. He might maybe be a transfer out in future weeks with Newcastle probably going through to the Carabao Cup final. So you have got triple up on Newcastle. I'll probably be moving away from that at some point. I'll be probably bringing in, well, for Gordon it's a difficult one because you've already got mbuemo. So an easy transfer would just be Gordon to mbuemo, but you've already got Gordon, so you're quite happy to hold him for at least another couple of weeks. Lewis Hall may be moving on to Kerkez when Bournemouth fixtures turn in game week 25. But overall, you can't really say too much bad about this team. I think it's a very strong team. I like the front three with Isak, Mateta and Gakpo. And the midfield looks really good as well. That's a stronger midfield than my personal team midfield, 100% having Gordon in there, who hasn't been massively explosive in the last few weeks, but he's definitely chipped away and just consistently got points. Overall, very, very strong team right there. By the way, thank you for everybody who sent in the teams as well. Obviously, I can't get around to everybody, so there will be in future videos I'll get around to more. But as I say, thank you very much for everybody who sent me in their teams. Next team is another triple up on Liverpool with Alisson, Alexander-Arnold and Salah. No Cody Gakpo, which is interesting. I'm sure you're going to be biting your nails watching Cody Gakpo over the double game week because he could potentially do very well. But at the end of the day, there's no going back now. You've got your Liverpool triple up and you're just going to have to stick with it and hope for the best. Up from Raul Jimenez, I'm not 100% sure on Jimenez at the moment. I've never been convinced in him all season. He's done well over the course of the season. But if you can maybe get Jimenez to a wissa, that would be a very nice move in my opinion. But also as well, you've got Gordon, who could maybe go across to mbuemo. I do think mbuemo is clear of Gordon over the next few weeks, in my personal opinion. Also, as well, obviously, this is just my opinion on your team as well. I'm not some absolute guru who can predict the future. This is just my personal opinion on what I'd do if I had this certain team in my situation. Also, Joao Pedro is a frustrating one. I would be looking to probably move either Joao Pedro or Raul Jimenez up to a wissa personally, because I do think this is just a very, very good attacker going forward. Next team is a very interesting one because this guy has decided to play his assistant manager chip on David Moyes, which I rate it. I do rate it. I don't know how well he's going to get on. I mean, obviously we don't know yet. I think he's got a good fixture and he's got a couple of other games. You might want to look to transfer your assistant manager out in game week 25 or game week 26 if you wanted to. But overall, I respect it going for David Moyes, the assistant manager. Honestly, I'm not doing it personally, but I don't absolutely hate it in the slightest. So he's got Cody Gakpo as his captain as well, interestingly enough. It'd be interesting if he goes for him at the end of the week or not, or if he if he bottles it and goes for Salah. But I'm sure that he'll stick with Cody Gakpo, and I love that shout of being differential right there. But overall, very, very good midfield. I love that midfield. It's similar to the person that we had before. I think it's the exact same actually, with Mo Salah, Gordon, mbuemo, Rodgers and Palmer. I think that's such a good midfield. That's probably the best 5 midfielders in my personal opinion. He's benching Chris Wood, which is very risky. Very risky benching Chris Wood, but you have got a very strong team as well with the strikers Gakpo and Isak, and the midfield is just so strong as well. And then Mykolenko, so you've got double game with Mykolenko at the back, you've got double game with Konate, double game with Salah and Gakpo, so you've got your triple up on Liverpool, and the triple up and a double game week with Everton as well. Lewis Hall's decent this week in my opinion, and Raya in goal. Overall, that's a very, very strong team right there. Next team is another very interesting team. He's gone very heavy on the double ups. He's gone for 2 Everton and 3 Liverpool with Pickford, Tarkowski, Konate, Salah and Gakpo. Very, very nice team there. I like the front three. Same front three as my personal team. And same midfield as my team, except from Jacob Murphy, I've got Amad Diallo. So a very similar team to my personal team. And then at the back, Milenkovic, Tarkowski, and obviously Konate. So he's got the 2 double-ups. And Milenkovic is decent enough, I guess, against Brighton. Brighton have got a few injuries, and they're not playing that well. So overall, again, these teams are very strong, by the way. Every single versus team does look very, very good, and obviously very heavy on this team on the double game weeks. And I'd say that is a very good team going forward. I think future game weeks probably moving towards a Bournemouth player, probably moving Jacob Murphy on to maybe Clive if he can get the funds. And you've already got Hutchinson as well, so you could then potentially have a double up on Bournemouth for their good run of fixtures coming up. So overall, very strong team. Next team is another person that's gone very, very strong on the double ups. Just look at all that back four, every single player doubling with Pickford, Konate, Azandrado, and Mikalenko. Very, very nice. Then Mbuemo in there, which is good. Salah, Rodgers, and Palmer. That's similar to my midfield. So that's my starting 4 midfielders as well, with Amad Diallo, who's on my personal bench. Kulusevski is one that I'd probably be looking to move on to maybe just a Justin Kluivert next week, to be honest, just with the fixtures that Bournemouth have got, that game against Southampton. You do need to be targeting that. And then maybe at the back, I'd move either maybe Arne or Munoz, or Mikalenko if you could, probably one of Arne or Munoz, over to a Kerkez who's got a good run of fixtures there. And he's got Wissa as well. Overall, very, very strong team right there. Next up, we have got another manager who is using his assistant managership on David Moyes. So very interesting there. Hopefully it does go well for the FPL managers that do that. And again, he has got triple Newcastle, which, to be fair, I mean, I would, if I was in that situation, I would maybe be looking to move on Gordon to Mbuemo personally. It's not like a must transfer this week, I wouldn't say. If you want to hold your transfer, then absolutely fair enough. I guess it depends how many transfers you've got. But a Gordon to Mbuemo, I think is a good shout this week. I think Mbuemo is going to do really well this week. Elanga, I've never quite been sold on, but I mean, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. I think he's decent enough against Brighton this week. You can maybe even start Cliver, to be fair, against Liverpool. But after that, I'd imagine Elanga will just literally be sat on your bench. Your midfield 4 will, say you stick with Gordon, it'll just be Salah, Gordon, Palmer, and Cliver, realistically. So Elanga isn't a must because you've got a good front 3 because you've got Ollie Watkins in there who you're never really going to be benching. Obviously, with the news of Duran leaving, Watkins could be really, really good going forward and definitely one to keep an eye on. This next team, I do like the look of it. He's starting Jacob Greaves, which I respect. I mean, it is, if you're ever going to start Jacob Greaves, it is against Southampton in all fairness. Let me know in the comments if you're starting Jacob Greaves. I wouldn't be absolutely against it. I'm not going to be starting him personally. I don't think he'll even be in my team. I think I'm going to get rid of him this week personally, but it's a decent fixture in Southampton, no line. That's the best fixture you can get in terms of from a defensive asset, probably. Good midfield with Mbuemo, Gordon, Palmer, and so a lot of people going for that midfield. Rodgers on the bench is obviously going to be heartbreak if he does do well, but at the end of the day, your team's so strong going forward. Rodgers probably would be the player that I'd bench out of all of them as well, so you can't really argue with that. Really good front 3, the same as me with Wood, Isak, and Gakpo. And defensively, everyone's kind of got similar teams. A lot of people got Nottingham Forest defender. A lot of people have got a Liverpool defender, obviously, as well. And a lot of people have got Pickford as well. Very, very popular this week. And the next team is another very strong team. And guess who the midfield 4 is again? And the midfield 5, if you include Rodgers, it's the same before. And the same attack as me. It's very similar to me. A lot of people I've got pretty much the most template team going, realistically. And then he's got Virgil van Dijk at the back with Arne and Hall. The one thing that I don't like is Sanchez in goal. I just think Chelsea defensively are an absolute shambles, and I don't even know if Sanchez will keep his place. The way that he's been playing recently, it can't be long until he gets dropped. I think Sanchez out. If you could get to Pickford, obviously this week, it'll be amazing. If not, I mean, I'm not really too sure around that price point I'd really be going for. But I wouldn't be going for Sanchez. There's maybe a Henderson who's got a decent run of fixtures for Crystal Palace, maybe, and you are kind of covering the Munoz as well. You could even go for maybe Bournemouth keeper Kepa, to be honest, if Sanchez is, if you don't have any Bournemouth players and you can't get to any of the Bournemouth player, because Bournemouth have got a good run of fixtures coming up, but we'll definitely be looking to move on Sanchez. For who? I'm not sure. Obviously depends on your budget, but I think Pickford this week will be the number 1. As for this manager, I wanted to include it because it's an interesting team. There's a bit that I would be changing this team. Well, he has got Arne Slot as his assistant manager. Fair enough, that could be very good going forward. I mean, Duran on the bench obviously has to go because he looks like he's on his way to Saudi. Patson Daka, he's got to go. He's got to go. This and then 2 goalkeepers in Raya and Anana. You need to be getting rid of. You need to be downgrading one of your goalies. Or just have one keeper that's then a 4 million keeper, in my opinion. The midfield 5 is good, to be fair. Ahmad, Palmer, Mbuemo, Cliver, and Salah I really like. Chris Wood's good. And then the back, the defence, I think Gvardio's got a good run of fixtures on from Gameweek 27. So not right now, Gvardio isn't great, but he is very good going forward. So he's not absolutely terrible to own right now. 8 Nori, Wolves defensively aren't the best. Obviously he's good going forward, but I would be moving 8 Nori on. And then I'll be moving Ajay on the bench for Brentford. I know they've got a good run of fixtures, but defensively, they're just a shambles. So I'll be getting rid of 8 Nori, I'll be getting rid of Duran, I'll be getting rid of Daka, I'll be getting rid of Ajay. And bringing in players up front. You've got to be trying to move towards a Cody Gakpo. I'd downgrade your goalkeeper as well to try and fund that move to Cody Gakpo this week. Because you've got to be having a triple up on Liverpool, in my opinion, because there's only 2 Liverpool in this team. And then defensively as well, I'd be looking towards maybe an 8 to kerkez, someone like that, because Bournemouth got a good run of fixtures coming up. And then up front as well, a cheaper striker. You'd probably be trying to get a Wissa in that team as well if you can try and fund that move as well. But let me know what you think of all these teams in the comment section down below. Sorry if I didn't get around to your team, but I'll be doing a video every single week, so there's another opportunity. If you want to send me a team, as I say, link in the description to my Instagram, and I'll be doing one of these rating teams every single week. So drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.